welcome back to my Mexican kitchen here in Switzerland. Sorry that I'm not going to be very talkative. I've been sick in bed all day and I just realized I hadn't made a video for this week, and I really hate to fail you guys. If anyone bothers watching the videos, I don't know how many of you are actually checking each week if there are any videos, but even if it's just one person, I don't like to not have a new video for you guys. So I was thinking, what shall I make that isn't too complicated, that won't drain me? And I thought churros would be a good recipe because most of us know those, most of us enjoy them. And thanks to the Spanish or the Portuguese or the Chinese, or I don't know, you can't really find the origin, but it's usually tending towards Spain. So let's start making these delicious churros. The ingredients you need to prepare your churros are 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of water, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1 cinnamon stick, 100 grams of butter, frying oil, 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Okay, so let's start with our churros. What we're going to do is we're going to pour 2 cups of water into a little pot or anything you can use to heat on the stove. We're going to add the 2 tablespoons of sugar, the 1/4 teaspoon of salt, the cinnamon stick, and the butter. We're going to bring it to a boil until the butter melts and the water is tinted with the cinnamon stick. As soon as that happens, you can turn it off, and then we'll go on to the next step. Water is done, so the next step is we're going to strain it into a bowl. We don't need the cinnamon stick, we just need the water, and then we're going to pour all our flour in there. And now the good part starts, the exercise. With a wooden spoon or anything that you have which is firm, you're going to start mixing and mixing until you have a nice smooth dough. It has to be very, very smooth, no lumps. It looks really nice and shiny and smooth. You're going to see right now in the video. And it also helps that it's cooling down because you can't add the eggs. The eggs are going to go in here after, but the dough has to be cooled down a bit, otherwise your eggs will scramble in there. So you just stir for quite a while. Just think that you're doing your exercise of the day, and once you touch your dough and it's not so hot anymore, you can add your eggs in there and your vanilla, and you continue mixing and mixing until your dough is super, super smooth and nice, and like I said, you'll see here in the video. Dough is done. As you saw in the beginning, the dough is like a nice smooth ball that comes off the ball bowl, sorry. But once you add the eggs, it gets kind of tricky. It kind of wants to separate, so you really have to put some arm power in there, and then you end up with a dough that looks like this. It's a bit more sticky, but it's still very smooth. So the next step is we're going to have a nice big pan, and we're going to put a lot of oil. You need a lot of cooking oil. You're going to heat it up, and either with a pastry bag or this is for a churro press. This one is for, I use it for cookies or for decorating cakes. Anything you have, you just need the star tip. That's the important part. You can also use a normal plastic bag. You just cut off a corner, a very small hole, and you can put one of these tips if you only have the tip, if you don't have a pastry bag, and this will work fine. And what you're going to do is, once the oil is super hot, you're going to press out your churro, and you can make it as big or as small as you want. And with some scissors, you just cut the dough to leave it to the size you want. And it's going to fry in the oil for a few minutes, 2-3 minutes. As soon as it's golden, you take it out and you put it on a plate with some absorbent paper so that the excess oil can come off. And in another plate, you're going to put your sugar, a cup of sugar, and the ground cinnamon. You're going to mix well. And while the churros are still hot, you're going to coat them in that mix. And basically that's it. You have your churros ready. Okay, so we're finished with our churros. I used both the churro maker and the cookie press that I have. With the churro maker, I used this big star. There's also a smaller one, but I wanted to make nice big ones. And with the cookie press, you have nice little thinner ones, they're both really nice. And the important thing is the flavor. Another thing is you're probably going to be concerned with the amount of oil, especially since you're thinking, oh, it's going to go to a waste. They sell these really practical oil keepers. They come with a cover and it comes with a strainer. So once your oil cools down, you can put it in here. It strains out all the little bits. And the thing is, if you use a good oil that resists high temperatures, it won't burn, especially with something that's so quickly fried. And you can reuse this oil for cooking other things, so it won't go to waste, just as a little thing, so you don't feel like, oh, I'm throwing all this oil away. And well, let's try our churros. I broke off a little piece so it would start cooling. Super good. Very crunchy on the outside and smooth in the inside, just how a churro should be. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry that I'm all funny with the flu, but hopefully you got the recipe. See you guys in the next video.